Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video, and today we're going to be going over the Chicago Bears-Washington Commanders game as the Chicago Bears beat the Washington Commanders 40-20. The Bears win their first game since October 24th, 2022 against the New England Patriots. Actually kind of funny that it took another primetime game for them to win. And their last game they ever won, their last game they won, which they've been on a 14-game losing streak going back to last season, was against the New England Patriots when they beat the Patriots 33-14 last year. Not only is this their first win in 14 games, but also this is the first time the Bears have scored 40 or more points in a game since December 27th, 2020 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was the last time they scored 40 points in a game. That's actually kind of embarrassing in my opinion. I mean, they scored, I think it was 37 and 41, and it was back-to-back games, and that was when Mitch Trubisky was their quarterback. So it's been almost 3 years since they've scored over either 37 plus or 40 plus points in a game. That was when they scored 41 against the New England Patriots last year, almost a year ago. 346 days since they've had a win. Go back to last year, some things that were happening in the NFL. The Detroit Lions were 1-5, and look at them now. They're one of the best teams in the league, one of the best teams in the NFC this season. The San Francisco 49ers, the powerhouse 49ers, had a losing record of 3-4. DeAndre Hopkins was still with the Arizona Cardinals and was still suspended. Chase Claypool, guys like Roquan Smith was still on the Bears, and not only was Roquan Smith still on the Bears, but Chase Claypool, who was not on the Bears yet. You're going back to all that stuff, and there's probably more stuff that you can list that hadn't happened at the NFL yet, or was going on in the NFL than the last time the Bears got their last win. A little embarrassing that it took the Bears 14 games to get, 14 games to win a game. Going back to last year, their last 10 games last year, they lost their last 10 games of last year and their first 4 this year. But still, I'm not gonna talk about their struggles over the last 14 games anymore, because the Bears had a really good game today. Justin Fields shined for a second straight game, 4 passing touchdowns. Last week he threw 3. This week he throws 4. So Justin Fields has thrown 7 touchdowns in the last 4 days in the last 2 games. How about DJ Moore, though? As a proud DJ Moore fantasy owner, I have him in my fantasy league and also in my NFL Week 5 game picks that I posted earlier. I did say that DJ Moore was going to have a monster performance in this game. I didn't know it was going to be this big. I didn't think he'd have like 230 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. I probably thought, going into this game, I thought DJ would maybe have a little bit over 100 receiving yards, maybe in the area of 105 to 115, and probably 1 touchdown, if not 130 receiving yards and no touchdowns. I thought it was going to be that type of game for DJ Moore, which is still a very good performance in fantasy football. But no, I didn't think it was going to be 8 receptions, 230 receiving yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns at all. Monster performance. Let's go over the scoring summary in this game. So, first quarter, you have 2 scores. It was all Bears in the first half. The final score is 40-20. You look at the score, it looks like the Commanders were close in this ballgame in the second half. They really weren't. This reminded me a lot like last week's game between the Lions and the Packers on Thursday Night Football. It was one of those games where last week the Lions dominated the Packers in the first half. The Packers were able to come back a little bit in the just a little bit in the second half, because the Lions were kind of not really trying to go for points. Although the Bears did score a total of 13 points in the second half, and were still able to score 13 points, even though they weren't really trying to score. They were just trying to run clock and clock manage. The Commanders' offense was better in the second half, but that was because the Bears were kind of letting them get small plays going down the field, and really weren't hoping for the the Commanders to get a deep play, which sometimes they were able to connect on the deep ball, whether it was a flag or it was a big play. Sam Howell was okay in this game, but all right, let's go to the scoring summary. First quarter, you have 2 scores, both of the Bears. Justin Fields was a 20-yard touchdown pass to DJ Moore. It's 7-0. Then with 4 minutes remaining, Carlos Santos makes a 22-yard field goal. It's 10-0. Then in the second quarter, with 14 minutes left, Justin Fields was an 11-yard touchdown pass to DJ Moore. It's 17-0. Commanders put their first points on the board with 8.5 minutes left. From 51 yards is Joey Sly. It's 17-3. Then with 2 minutes and 24 seconds, Carlos Santos from 36 yards. It's 20-3. The Bears score their second field goal of the night. Then Justin Fields was a 4-yard touchdown pass to Cole Kmet. Extra point is good. It's 27-3 going into halftime. Third quarter, two scores, both the Commanders. Sam Howell throws a 2-yard touchdown pass to Logan Thomas. They go for the two-point conversion. Sam Howell runs it in. It's 27-11. Then with 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter, Joey Sly makes a 32-yard field goal. It's 27-14. Fourth quarter scoring summary, Carlos Santos, 43-yard field goal. It's 30-14. Then Sam Howell, 3-yard touchdown pass to Curtis Samuel. 2-point conversion is failed. It's 30-20. Then Justin Fields was a 56-yard touchdown pass to DJ Moore. Great catch and run. DJ Moore was great with yards after catches today, and it's 37-20. And then Carlos Santos with another 30-yard field goal, 37-yard field goal. He had a lot of short field goals in this game, 37, 22, and 36 in this ball game, and it's 40-20 after that field goal by Santos. All right, game leaders, Fields threw 15 for 29, 282 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns. How about Sam Howell? You look at his stats, it looks like he had a good performance. He really didn't. I mean, they were playing from behind in the second half, so that meant a lot of more throws for this team in this ball game. They were running the football a lot because not only were the Bears' defense stopping the run game, Brian Robinson was terrible in the run game. So not only were they stopping that run game that the Commanders were giving the Bears defense, but they were down, 24 starting the third quarter. They had no business running the football at all. And so, yeah, they threw the football a lot in the second half. They even threw the football a lot in the first half. He threw 37 for 51 with 388 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. Howell looked okay in this game, but the passing yards kind of fools you. But they were throwing the ball a lot. Their run game was not productive, and they were playing from behind in this ball game. All right, rushing yards. Khalil Herbert led the Bears in rushing yards with 10 carries for 76 rushing yards. Well, this proves to you that their run game was not, doing anything at all because their quarterback, Sam Howell, led them in rushing yards with 4 carries for 19 rushing yards. So you didn't have a running back with over 20 rushing yards. Receiving yards, of course, it's going to be DJ Moore with 8 receptions, 230 receiving yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. We'll probably have the best game of a wide receiver all season. Wouldn't surprise me if someone had a better performance, but that's going to go down as one of the best performances by a wideout this season, and it's only week 5. Logan Thomas for the Commanders, their tight end, had 9 receptions for 77 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown. All right, getting into some other stats. The Bears' running game was okay, but they suffered a lot of injuries in this game to their run game. They needed their fullback to step up for them. Khalil Herbert and Roschon Johnson and Deontay Foreman all left with injuries. Roschon Johnson was ruled out. Khalil Herbert and Deontay Foreman were ruled questionable. And Kyrie Blaisgim had to come into the game. He's basically a fullback for them, and he took 8 carries for 26 yards. Khalil Herbert had 10 for 76. Fields ran 11 times for 57. Roschon Johnson ran 3 for 19. Brian Robinson Jr. had 6 carries for 10 rushing yards. So, yeah, it shows you. They only ran the ball. They only gave the ball to their running back 6 times. Only ran for 10. They had 29 rushing yards of the game, so it shows that they're, 98%, or maybe 97% of their yards, 97% of their offense and their plays came from the pass game. All right. Other receiving besides DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, back-to-back great games. He had a good game last week with 2 touchdowns. This week he has 5 receptions for 42 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown. It was the Kmet and the Moore show because those guys were combined for 272 passing yards. Besides that, tight end Robert Tonyan had 2 receptions for 10 receiving yards. And besides that, nobody else had any receptions for the Chicago Bears today. St. Brown had a target. Khalil Herbert had 3 targets. Darnell Mooney had 4 targets, but that was it. Besides Logan Thomas, Curtis Samuel had a very good game. People were expecting him to have a good game. And he had 6 receptions for 65 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Antonio Gibson, the running back, had 4 receptions for 64 receiving yards, while Terry McLaurin was very disappointed in the first half, but although had 4 receptions for 49 receiving yards, it looks like he did, not so great, but there was 2 big plays where Terry McLaurin drew two big pass interference calls. One, he was in the end zone, got them at like the 1 yard line, which set them up for a touchdown. And then the second one, the second time it happened was a play down the field. I think it was a 3rd down, and the Commanders were trying to score. And it was a big play. I think it was a gain of like 30-something yards. Brian Robinson Jr. had 4 receptions for 33 receiving yards, and Jahan Dotson had 3 receptions for 30 receiving yards. Okay, fumbles in this game. Cole Kmet fumbled and recovered. He did fumble. That was the only fumble that the Bears had, but he recovered his own fumble. Logan Thomas, tight end, might have had a great game with almost 80 receiving yards and a touchdown, but he did fumble in this game on a reception, and it was recovered by Terrell Lewis. Tackles, TJ Edwards led the Bears in tackles with 10 tackles. The Bears had a total of 5 sacks with 6 tackles for loss, 1 sack for TJ Edwards, 1 sack for Greg Stroman Jr. He is a former Washington Commander. 1 sack for DeMarcus Walker, 1 sack for Yannick Ngakoue, 1 sack for Rasheem Green. Commanders had a total of 3 sacks and 2 tackles for loss. Not sure how you have 3 sacks and 2 tackles for loss when a sack is a tackle for loss, but not so sure about that. 1.5 sacks for Montez Sweat, a half a sack for Abul Anderson, and 1 sack for Jonathan Allen. Interceptions in this game. How about the former Commander going full out in this game? Greg Stroman Jr. with an interception. So an interception and a sack for the former Washington Commander against his old team. Safety Greg Stroman Jr. of the Chicago Bears went crazy against his old team with an interception and a sack. So, yeah, that's really it for this ball game. Great performance by Justin Fields and DJ Moore to get, help lead them the way, carry them the way to the Bears' first victory in 346 days. It's been 14 games. It's been 11. It's been 11 games since the Bears have scored 30 or more points in a ball game. It's been 14 games since the Bears have won a ball game. It has been since December 27th, 2020, since the Bears have scored 40 or more points in a game, and the Bears did all that tonight. And great performance by Justin Fields and DJ Moore. 4 touchdowns thrown by Fields, three receiving touchdowns for Moore with over 200 receiving yards, 230 to be exact. And this was a great win for the Chicago Bears today. That's for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed their thoughts, and peace out.